What does a paid brand deal look like from start to finish for micro creators? If you are a micro creator, if you're a creator with 1 million followers and want to know how talent management actually works on the back end, this video is for you. Nobody talks about this. And if you can hear my baby in the background, I'm so sorry. But nobody talks about this. The talent management industry is so under wraps, and it's rightly so, because anybody can do this and the big talent agencies don't want you to know this. A little background. So I've been in social media for 10 years, influencer marketing for 6, and I started my talent agency. It's May 2nd, 2026 right now. I started my talent agency in December of 2025. So it's only been about 5 months. I've signed 17 creators. I've filtered through over 500 brand emails. We've done 55, 58 paid brand deals with about $12,000 in brand commission so far. Wild. So this is the brand deal sequence from start to finish for micro creators who don't really know how paid brand deals work. So I'm going to explain it to you guys. And I have my handy dandy notes here. So if I'm looking down, that's why. So let's start with the inquiry, the DM or the email. You will get some sort of outreach from a brand and they will say, hey, we'd love to work with you. What are your rates? That's typically all they say. Never email them back and be like, this is what I charge for a reel. Let me know if that works for you. Send them what's called a flip pitch. So you're essentially going to send them all of your metrics that are going to make you look amazing, how many paid brand deals you've done in the past, if you have a media kit. And then again, don't send your rates, ask for the scope of work. This means how many TikToks, how many Instagram reels, how many stories, if they need whitelisting, if they want exclusivity, and we'll talk about that in a second. You need to know all of those things so you can send what's called a proposal, and that's the next step. So once you have the scope of work back from a brand, you're going to send a dedicated proposal. Every single one of my talent agents sends a proposal for every legitimate brand inquiry that we get for all of our influencers. It has their actual rates for every single thing under the sun. And so you'll send them a proposal. You'll say, I charge this for this, this for this, this for this. Now, something I want to mention, make sure that you have a ceiling and a floor when it comes to your rates. This will allow you to have some flexibility. And if you're a talent manager, a private talent manager like me, make sure you have this for all of your influencers. It's going to make negotiation so much easier because you know what they're shooting for, that's their ceiling, and the lowest they're willing to accept, that's your floor. So that way you have that negotiation room. You'll send off that proposal and then just wait to see what they say. Half of the time they're like, looks great, let's do it. The other half, they're like, this is way too expensive. We're thinking blah, 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 blah. So if they don't tell you this is the rate that we're looking to pay, instead of saying, okay, fine, well then what about my floor rate? I would go back and I would ask what their budget is. And then you can re-say your flip pitch and add more value to it. So you're essentially justifying your prices. Some brands literally have a budget of like $80 and that's what they're willing to pay. You can skip those brands if you want to, but we can also do what's called compounding. So if you are at, I'm just gonna make up numbers here, please don't quote me on this. If you're at 20,000 followers and you Googled ChatGPT, how much should I charge? It says $1,000. If you say 1,000 and they come back and they're like, we want 200, you can say 500 if you want to bring that down, but you can also do the brand deal at $200. You're gonna get more of the lower ones, so we can compound those over time. Especially if you're a new influencer who hasn't done as many paid brand deals, I would start to try to get as many as you can so you can start building almost like your portfolio. If they want whitelisting, if you're gonna do the paid partnership tags, which the FTC requires, this will help brands find you. It'll make you look more legitimate as a content creator if you have all of those things in place, which can only be done by doing more brand deals. So keep that in mind. If you're just starting out, I wouldn't be as like harsh on your rates. Sometimes if you're like, I'm firm, it can lose the deal. If you love the brand and love the product, consider being a little bit more flexible. If it's something that's like not even in your niche and it's not something that's important to you, skip the deal, move on to the next one. Okay, so we talked about rates. Let's talk about contracts for a second. So we send out a contract to the brands if they don't have one, just to protect our influencers, to make sure that they're actually getting paid. They're not going to be using the content everywhere and anywhere. So that's something I want to talk about. So there are 3 things in a contract that I want you to look out for. If there is perpetuity, this means they can use your likeness everywhere, anywhere, however they want, forever. So they essentially have that right. So you can do something called whitelisting, where they can put money behind your post and then use it as an ad, but it lives on your profile. You probably see these ads a lot. It helps you grow, but we're still going to charge for that. And so I'm not going to go into like specifics because it varies too much. If you are a niche creator and you have exclusivity from an activewear brand, you can't work with any more activewear brands for 6 months. That can really hurt your brand deals. So make sure that if you're going to do exclusivity, it's like 1 week before, 1 week after the post goes live, 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after. It doesn't need to be longer than that. And you typically wouldn't post something very niched right after something like that, if it's like a product or a gadget or a very specific face serum or something like that. So be very careful with exclusivity. And then the third is going to be brand approval, like final brand approval. You can get into trouble with this because if they have final brand approval, they can come back and forth with as many revisions as they want because you can't post it until they say yes. So we don't typically do that. We typically do 2 brand revisions as long as the content matches the content brief. Brands will send you a content brief after everything is signed to make sure that you have all the information you need about the product and the campaign. If there's any specific words they want you to use, hashtags, things like that. If it matches the content brief, you're fine and they shouldn't need like a bunch of crazy revisions. So those are the 3 things in the contract that I would really, really look out for. Make sure the scope of work is in the contract. If there's a posting date, make sure your name is correct, all of the things. So let's talk about the wire. So getting paid. There's something called like net payment dates. Often, if the brand is big, they will have a net 30, net 60, or a net 90 days, which means that you won't get paid for your brand deal for 30, 60, and 90 days. Sometimes this is to like try to make sure that they're having revenue come in from this, but you're still going to get paid no matter how it performs. One thing I would try to do is a 50-50. So 50% up front, 50% after content delivered. This isn't as common, but you can ask for it, see if the brand will do it. But then make sure, try to only do net 30 days. So you're getting paid 30 days after your content is posted. And also make sure that you are planning for the future. Because when it comes to brand deals like this, you're likely not going to get paid the moment it happens. You want to make sure that you're planning for the future. So that's really it. The meat and potatoes of a brand deal from start to finish. If you have questions, please drop them in the comments. I will answer as many as I possibly can. And if you're a micro creator without representation and you want to chat with me, look up my agency. We are Era of Influence on everything. You can check out our website and follow me on social media. I am socially Brielle on all platforms. Again, I am so excited to be back and so excited to be doing this. So follow me and I will see you guys next week. Okay, bye guys.